Hello everybody and welcome on my journey to watch 500 films in 1 year. The next 4 films I watched were all of Whit Stillman's movies prior to Love and Friendship. Metropolitan is about a group of young upper-class Manhattanites who are blithely passing through the gala debutante season when an unusual outsider joins them and stirs them up. Barcelona is about a stuffy man from Illinois working in sales for the Barcelona office of a US corporation, who is paid an unexpected visit by his somewhat less stuffy cousin, an officer in the US Army. The Last Days of Disco is a story of 2 female Manhattan book editors, fresh out of college, who find love in themselves while frequenting a local disco. Damsels in Distress is about a trio of girls who set out to change the male-dominated environment of the Seven Oaks College campus and to rescue their fellow students from depression, grunge and low standards of every kind. The first thing that struck me about all of writer-director Whit Stillman's movies was the very unique sense of humour running through them. I wouldn't say I laughed out loud during any of the films except Damsels in Distress, but there is an incredible amount of wit and refinement in the dialogue of all of his characters, and I found the plots to be varied and unusual. Metropolitan focuses on the carefree lives of a group of privileged individuals, and I found their existence fascinating, as their world was so unlike mine. The actors used in the movie were mostly unknowns, and sadly a lot of them didn't go on to star in any other films, but all of the ensemble cast did a great job at representing the erudite and untroubled group in a really naturalistic way. Barcelona is just as much of a character-driven film, but is set in a completely different environment and has a heavily political feel. I would have liked to have seen Spain as more of a character in the movie, but I understand Whit Stillman prefers to focus on people and their motives, using the location more as a base in which the action takes place. Apparently Stanley Kubrick highly admired the film, calling it a new way to have talk advance the narrative. He was especially impressed with Thomas Gibson in the film, and cast him in Eyes Wide Shut without an audition on the basis of his performance here. The Last Days of Disco is set amongst the glitz and the glamour of the early 80s, and is loosely based on the filmmaker's personal experiences in various Manhattan nightclubs, including Studio 54. I loved the way that pretty much all of the characters were so unsure of who they wanted to be and desperate to fit in with their peers, all expressing that in very different ways. Kate Beckinsale is particularly good as the controlling and interfering Charlotte, and I particularly enjoyed the argument that ensues within the group about Lady and the Tramp. Damsels in Distress is my favourite of these movies. Greta Gerwig, who is fast becoming one of my favourite alternative actors, is brilliant as the opinionated and romantic Violet. She should have been annoying due to the fact that she is so proper and tries to be so perfect, but manages instead to be lovable and vulnerable. The other cast members are also great, and the plot is fresh, uplifting, surprising and offbeat, so much so that I didn't want the film to end. Whit Stillman clearly takes a lot of time and invests a lot of attention in crafting movies that have sharp dialogue, well-developed characters and thought-provoking plots. I adored every single one of his movies to date and can't wait until his next movie is released, although I'm not sure when that will be. A huge thumbs up for his back catalogue from me. Please join me for my next review, where I'll be talking about The Virgin Suicides, co-written and directed by Sofia Coppola. Thanks for taking the time to listen, and I hope to hear from you soon.